Game 3.
All right, draft time for Game 3, and yeah, no more effing around, as Kang so eloquently put it. So we'll see if that is the case. Scoop back on blue here, and we're gonna see if what they're gonna go for in terms of first picks, and if that first pick Kaiza is gonna come out. If birds aren't real, just gonna keep going with the Aphelios here. I know that it's not the most common pick, and maybe there could be some other options to go for, but we also have to see the bans are birds aren't real willing to let that Lee Sin through, for instance, or maybe even the Morgana for the mid. This draft is wide open right now.
Honestly, I'm not expecting too much different from the last time of Birds Unreal. They banned the Morgana, Lisa, and Darius, which I think is probably a similar chance of the same thing, but it's really Scoop City that has to change away how they do things. Um, I, for the side of Scoop City, I don't even really know what that means. Last game was almost such a write off as they lost in every conceivable area. They don't actually have to like focus too much on any one thing. Scoop City might or should probably try and draft for something that can support their chaotic style. I'm hoping they pick up things that are good in skirmishes. I do like the Olaf. I obviously was not a fan of it mid lane, but I think Olaf would definitely be someone that would kind of suit their style. These Olafs, these kind of scrappy characters, I think would really suit Scoop City.
Absolutely. We're just having to quickly remake the draft link here. So I'm just sending the teams that new link, and I'll send it to you as well, Stefano, so we can check that out. But yeah, that definitely it's all going to come into play. It's going to be really interesting to see kind of if they change their strategy up either of these teams as well. Just like go for a totally different idea in terms of what you know what they want to have as their win condition, for instance, and these types of things.
Yeah, will they pick an Orn? Will Twitch chat finally get what they want? No one knows, but we're gonna find out just now as we get into draft.
Here we go. Seraphine and Cassiopeia coming out as bans. Scoop City just reactionary bans, full on. They're just banning whatever beat them or whatever caused trouble for them last time. And this time, birds aren't real. Sticking with the game 2 idea of Morgana and Lee Sin taken away. Darius, of course, as well. Mandatory first round ban against Scoop City. So Dinsbag not going to be allowed on his signature champion, but there is Oriana as well going out, and I guess they're just really concerned about Arch's Oriana. I wonder if it's from some sort of scrim information, maybe just match history, maybe Twisted Fate is going to be picked up first blind for Scoop City.
I don't hate the TF first pick. TF, very obviously an all-client champ. So at first it might not appear like it would fit Scoop City all that much, but I do believe that they're um, because they fight so often. I do think the Birds Aren't Real is probably going to have a little bit of a difficulty tracking where the TF is and consistently playing around it. So TF is definitely one of those champions that can fit this kind of skirmish style. This take the 2v3 fights, push everything as far as you can.
Yeah, and the Hecarim once again comes in for birds aren't real. So yeah, and Kept was wondering about this. Didn't want them to allow Zohair to be on one of those champions like this that can affect the map so effectively. But here's a couple of jungle hovers over on the side of Scoop City, as we also saw the Caitlyn coming in from Birds Aren't Real. And these hovers, with Scoop City, you never know whether it's going to be a troll hover or not here, as Kha'Zix is the hover currently. We'll see if that's going to be the pick, but I'm not sure. This would be an interesting one into Hecarim, but that's what it's going to be. Kha'Zix is locked in there for Scoop City.
Yeah, Kazakh's famously harder in more competitive and uh, areas where there's more communication. But screw that, Orn being hovered now, possible. I actually don't think Orn would be bad here. Blind, but not gonna go for it. Sorry, Twitch chat. It wasn't me. It was the players. Blame Scoop City. Um, at Birds Aren't Real are going to get the last pick here. I would suggest they pick a support here. Arma, yeah, I think Arma would be a really good pick, and they do end up going for them. And now they're just going to be banning out support and top, so I feel like I can reasonably say that I expect most of the bans to go against Dinsbay.
Yeah, now Caitlyn Karma up against the Ezreal, and We'll see what the bans come through. Like you said, all they've got to focus on is the top and the support over here. So there is the potential that they just continue to target Dinsbag over here on this ban phase. And there we go. The set does come in. So that is going to, yeah, now the top lane matchup is totally untouched so far. So we'll see if Birds Aren't Real want to use their counter pick for mid or top. It's definitely, can be beneficial for somebody as good as Arch to be put on that counter pick, but if you don't want a Dinsbag to have the opportunity to snowball the game out of control, maybe that's what you focus on. They're running these times down the entire time. So we'll see, we'll see what they go with here. The Tristana comes out as well as a ban towards Arch. And yeah, those solo lanes, uh, they know what the solo lane pick for Scoop City is. And so the question is, what is your answer for Twisted Fate?
Yeah, Twisted Fate can have a few options. I think what's going to be really important though isn't so much the pick that they choose to go against Twisted Fate. It's going to be how Hecarim chooses to play around mid lane.
Mm-hmm.
A huge part of dealing with global alts is how much jungle pressure they can have and how the jungler reacts to them. You
Yep.
can pick a lot of things in TF. I wouldn't mind something like in Oriana, something that's rather just safe that you can successfully put the ball in the Hecarim and take it from there. Um, or even something like a Cinder, I don't think would be too bad. There's not a lot of tanks on City so far. With the final ban being Scion, smart, which is smart. We saw Reese's Pieces, well, it's actually super difficult to kill last game on it. So taking that away with just one final pick,
Mm-hmm.
I'm fully expecting it to be the mid lane. Corki would also be an excellent choice. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and
Doing
Arch, see the little context, I saw an off-stream match where Arch completely destroyed a team, George Foreman Grill it was, who are a very good team in their own right. It went to 3 games, but Birds Aren't Real completely, Arch, I should say, completely manhandled their mid laner on that Corki. It can be so amazing if you get it ahead. The damage is just unbelievable from this champion.
and Blitzcrank locked in. I do really like the Blitzcrank pick. I think firstly it supports their style so well. It's so volatile. It's so chaotic. So consistently, that was a lot of seeds. And on the sides of Birds Are Real, there's just the top laner that hasn't been picked. But as of this moment, Blitzcrank can hook 3 of their champions and feel really good about it.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Aurelia is the pick. There we go. It looked like it might be a Mordekaiser, which also would have been an interesting one, but the Aurelia comes through instead. And here's Jax, the instant response from Birds Aren't Real. They are confident in the Jax against Aurelia matchup, and Jax definitely can do well into those melee auto attackers. So there we go. The draft is here. Maybe a little less wild from Scoop City, but still there is some potential for some crazy excitement from these two team comps.
Yeah, this is going to be an absolutely riveting match to watch. In terms of comps, which one I prefer? I think I actually like Scoop City a little bit more in terms of the comp. I think Birds Are Real though does have a good comp. I don't know if the Hecarim is going to be enough to just solo engage all of these fights. Jax is there as well, but ideally Jax is going to be matching the TF on the split push, not going to be the one engaging. They do have the Karma Shield, but even still, I think that if Scoop City can survive the initial kind of burst, they can definitely take this, depending on how they play the team fights.
Absolutely. So we will find out. This is going to be a very exciting game 3 here for Scoop City and Birds Aren't Real, and we will bring it to you right after a short break. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back, everybody, to Game 3 of Scoop City versus Birds Aren't Real. And we have a pause right off the bat so we can talk a little bit more about these team compositions, Stefano, because it is some interesting stuff, and we're expecting to see as volatile a game as we've seen all series, though going to be a bit of a challenge, I'll have to say that, because we've seen already some pretty crazy volatility here. That being said, the mid matchup is going to determine a lot of how this game goes, because that Twisted Fate can affect so much of the map there. Meanwhile, Arch on Corki is absolutely deadly. So that is going to be what I'm focused on so far in this game.
Yeah, and right off the bat, big thing I want to notice is that bodybuilding did go tonight for the 3rd game in a row.
Hmm.
He's against the TP, so there is going to be a TP disadvantage on the side
Uh,
of.
I have to correct you, not the third game in a row, because last game,
Ah, yes, you're right.
I'm sure I remember he went ghost barrier on Olaf.
Yes, you are
But
very
yes,
right. There
yeah.
was something unexpected I forgot about.
Hmm.
The second game in a row that he's not taking the most degenerate combination of summoner spells I can imagine mid lane.
Yep,
He's
exactly. Yeah.
instead taking Flash Ignite, but it is going to be a TP advantage down. Of course, he does have the TF ult, so it's not a 1-to-1, but it's still going to be something to keep in mind as we're getting.
Absolutely have to keep that in mind. So now we are getting into this game. The pause has been resolved, and everyone is on the rift. So, Scoop City, if we know anything about Scoop City, we
They're
know that
invading.
they are going to invade, and they are indeed running the Blitzcrank this time, but no way. The one time they take the Blitzcrank. The one time they
This
go
is the
Blitzcrank,
biggest mind
they
game
play
I've ever
5
seen.
point. Oh, I
Who
just
expects
love it,
this?
man. That's yeah. I mean, obviously they're expecting an invade, and um, to their credit, Birds Aren't Real don't go for anything spicy either. They just go for defense of all of their entrances, watching out, and Scoop City do the exact same thing. Just chilling. What Blitzcrank is supposed to invade? No, we're just playing him for lane. I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. Just play. You know what? I guess they're just scared after the last time. I was gonna flame them more, but after how disastrous the
Yeah.
last level one went, and kind of the one before that as well, despite the fact they did get a kill 2 games
Yeah.
ago, they still gave up everything for it.
Yeah.
I can understand them being a little bit hesitant to invade, but even not going to be the worst thing in a row, but it is. I say that, but they're invading
Of
now because
course.
of course
Okay,
they
so
are.
actually, they do manage to get 2 wards, and yeah, of course, they're still going. So actually, the Jax does have to just back off. Hecarim is starting on the Raptors, though, and so that's going to be very interesting to see if Kha'Zix can finish this off. Here's Reese's, looks for the red. They know that the Jax's has to be doing it. Bodybuilding goes for an invade and has to flash away real early. Meanwhile, we still see Jelly over on this
By
red buff. Will he be
himself.
able to smite it down? And if he doesn't matter. Here's Jelly. Now it's a 2 versus 2. Bodybuilding has the stun, and they are going to continue to go for this, but Jelly doesn't have any isolated targets to fight. Here's Arch going to get first blood. That is so devastating because now Bodybuilding's going down as well. And I spoke too soon, Stefano. I knew I shouldn't have said anything about them not invading because, of course, they go for the late invade. They clear out 2 wards doing it, and they still continue to press on, but they end up taking 2 deaths.
That was so just incredibly awfully played by the side of Scoop City. From just everything about that was just awful. From even going for it in the first place to Jelly staying on the buff while they're killing bodybuilding to how it ended up. Just a bad idea with worse execution from Scoop City is going to put them at a pretty big detriment in the early
You
game.
know, you said at the beginning off stream to me that you've started to become known for maybe being a critical analyst, definitely pointing out mistakes often, maybe a little bit of flame, you could even say. And you said, I'm going to try to adjust that. I'm going to try not to play. I'm not going to try not to do that all the time anymore. But when they play like this
They're
early
making
on in the
it
game,
so
what are
hard.
you supposed to do?
Yeah, how do I not flame that? If it was solo queue, I would be /FF and going next already. Like, what?
Oh man. Well, hopefully they give you something to be complimentary about later on. And for now, Dinsbag definitely is getting an advantage over Reese's Pieces. Actually has double the CS of the Jax, so that Aurelia showing power early on. And Jax, it can be difficult to make Jax work early on in matchups like this. You do have to maybe wait for a couple of items to have a lot of effect. Bodybuilding's just taking this fight against Arch, just going for the full-on stat check there, and Arch loses it. So Bodybuilding's going to be able to continue trying to push that wave forward. That's definitely a good exchange to get here against the Corki.
Yeah, I mean, Arch had the red buff, and he thought he was
Yep.
in position or thought he was in capability for do it going in, but not quite enough damage on the early game Corki. You got to get a few items in there. It will be interesting to see if he's going for that more Power of Evil build. We saw Power of Evil recently-ish go Leandries into
Mm-hmm.
uh, it was Leandri's into rapid fire into a Sheen proc, if I remember. It's
Sure.
interesting build. You do get a lot of damage from it, just from the poke, and as well from the consistent damage of Leandri's. Or
Yep.
if he is going to be going more classic ADC, with the Gale Force, with the Essence Weaver into other items. Both definitely good options, and definitely both available for him this game.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course the haste um, from that Leandri's definitely can make a difference there as well. So we'll see what that build ends up being. I would probably guess it's going to be the straight-up ADC build, but we will see. That definitely is the more common one. Bodybuilding continuing to apply pressure there on the mid lane, though, and this game feels just slow as molasses compared to the last two games we've seen, which is pretty funny considering we've got 2 kills already at level 1. But Bodybuilding might go for a solo kill here.
Ignite
Arch gets
goes
ignited.
down.
1, 2, 3. There it is. Bodybuilding gets the solo kill onto Arch, and that is so huge considering that Arch got that initial kill. But here's Dinsbeg trying to fight Reese's Pieces. And Reese, oh, what a flash there. Just has to flash a little bit forward to get that last auto attack in. And that is the solo kill against Dinsbeg. Reese's Pieces adds a notch to the belt. And Birds Aren't Real remain 2 kills up.
Man, Scoop City games are so messed up because somehow in lane, Jax got a solo kill against Irelia, and TF got a solo kill. Those are like the 2 least non-solo killing champions in the whole game.
Yep.
And somehow, and they get it in the wrong direction. Reese's Pieces still really dominating this lane. This is the first time Dinsbeg has been really struggling just on the merits of Reese's Pieces.
Absolutely, and you saw this actually from game 1 as well, where Dinsbag teleported to a minion probably further up than he really should have. Last time he was punished by the Kayn, this time just punished by Jax kind of being very strong and being able to stun him right off the hop when he gets out of that minion. So that's going to be an advantage up in the top lane, but still the farm lead is being maintained by Dins. So it's going to be an interesting, way to see these solo lanes play out. But another interesting thing we've noticed is that there's been no jungle participation in any of these fights whatsoever. The first notable thing either jungler has done is this dragon take that's coming over from Zohair.
Yeah, and with Dragon going down now, this was a really good call. They're able to get the back timing onto Jelly. They know that he has no camps top from the tracking. They know he has to back him. So just a really smart heads up play by Zohair. Jelly not really able to do a lot in that scenario. Just had his number down in the good early mountain drag to start off the dragon side before Birds Aren't Real.
Exactly. Dinsbag getting the flash, getting the stun down onto Reese's Pieces, and now the ultimate comes in. Here is Twisted Fate, but will he even need him? He probably wasn't going to, but Bodybuilding does secure the kill anyway, so good job to confirm that one, and there you go. That's exactly what you've got to avoid from the Twisted Fate, and since Corki doesn't have the advantage in that lane anymore, wasn't able to apply enough pressure to prevent that gank. So here comes Twisted Fate onto Arch now, who has the flash available and probably is going to have to use it here. There it goes, but Jelly's going to go in for the isolated Q, and that is an equalizing kill here on the side of Scoop City. So they are really opening up well after that disastrous early game.
Yeah, they're actually 2k gold up. There's a 30 CS advantage in the top lane. There's about a 5 CS in the jungle. There's a little bit in the bot lane, but it really is all just top despite Reese's Pieces getting a good some good traits in lane. It is Dinsbag just consistently out farming him as Bodybuilding flash ignites Zohair for the kill. Wasn't expecting that, and I don't think Zohair was either. Bodybuilding now 3-1. This TF is going to be a huge thorn in the side of Birds Aren't Real, but not if Arch has anything to say about it.
Arch going in back for the teleport, and the shutdown instantly comes in, and that's exactly the feeling you always get as a mid laner. You are, greedy for that push. You're trying to get that, take advantage of the kill you've just gotten, but with the teleport coming in, or with Arch being able to come in and punish that, it is going to be 4-4 now over on the side. Equal from both sides. Now here's Jelly getting hit up by Reese's, but he does not want this fight 2v1,
Yeah.
and Zohair was not close enough to respond to that gank. So there we go. Reese's Pieces does clear out this eventually, and we've got a pretty even game on our hands with Scoop Lord, a slight advantage.
And what's good for both teams is that there hasn't been too much tension on the bottom side of the map. Both these AD carries just kind of want to farm up. Karma obviously a little bit more of a lane bully than Blitzcrank is, but both the AD carries wanting to farm up, get to mid game. Karma to get her Moonstaff combo if she goes for that. Or last game she went for the Imperial Mandate instead. Caitlyn obviously wanting to get to these 3 or more items. Ezreal wanting to get the Mirror Mana. Both teams respecting it, kind of throwing everything topside, and it seems to be working out for the side that does have the stronger top laner so far.
Yeah, here is a fight, though, in the bot lane, and Aldre bursts down Kingsland, but also the ADC, made an ADC goes down as well, so it's a 1-for-1 there down in the bot lane, and they just keep trading here. Dinsbag wants to go in, though, and at this point, Dinsbag might have the advantage as the Twisted Fate comes in as well to confirm the kill. This time, Dinsbag gets the final hit. That's going to be 6-5, and a great amount of pressure there, especially because Reese's Pieces does not have teleport available yet, and won't quite when he spawns, I don't think either. So that's going to be several plates. Here's Bodybuilding, goes for the stun. Zohair gets really low. Bodybuilding is huge already, and Dinsbag, okay, Zohair levels up and does manage to survive because of that. Now it's going to be a little bit tough for Bodybuilding to do anything here. Because of Zohair's speed, but where can Zohair even go? Bodybuilding
No TP
looking
available
for the yellow card, and there is Zohair going down to Dinsbag in the end. Meanwhile, Arch is in danger against Jelly in the mid lane, and yeah, this Kha'Zix is going to be able to get that kill. So now Scoop City have really broken this game open here in the in the early stages, just past 10 minutes, and they are looking good in every lane.
Exactly what you want to happen from from Scoop City. Bodybuilding using this TF so effectively. 5 kill participation out of the 8 on his team. The closest then is 3 3 on Dinsbag, and that's only because Bodybuilding's been going top. They need to find a way to deal with this TF, whether that's timing his cooldowns better or just pressuring him more. They can't keep letting this TF get this advantage topside. Dinsbag now 30 CAS up. They're gonna have such or Birds and Reels can have such a difficulty finding people to side lane against this huge Aurelia, against this huge TF that are going to come in, keep shoving waves, and keep getting advantages.
Okay, so Reese's Pieces wants the fight now, and we've seen in the 1v1 without Twisted Fate, it's been very close. Here comes Bodybuilding now, trying to go for the dive, and that's going to be confirmed by the Ezreal ultimate there. But Arch is here with the package. There is Bodybuilding taking damage from the package, and that is going to be the kill for Arch. Now, Aldre's taking a lot of damage from the package. Will he go down? Yes, he will. 2-for-1 so far. Great work by Arch to use the package there for the gank. Oh, Dinsbag flashes in, tries to Q to a minion and go in. Kingsland is going to go down, but it's going to be traded back there. So that is a really nice play in the end for Arch. And here is the replay after that package went down.
See, the package went down, then Arch got a little bit too ahead. Aldre does end up picking down, but then Dinsbag gets the stun, Qs, and goes hyper aggressive. Ends up trading 1-for-1. Kingsland quite being able to get away in time. Overall, that's a good trade for Birds That Are Real. Reese's Pieces was able to crash a wave, so Dinsbag lost 2 and get a few plates. Scoop City on the end is able to pick up the Dragon, which is going to even it out, put it a little bit more into their favor, but still a mistake by Scoop City forced things a little bit too much. I think they actually gave up the shutdown, on Bodybuilding as well, so an overall net gain for Birds.
Definitely, and yeah, that one singular dragon, definitely good to pick up, but it certainly isn't going to make up for that type of advantage you get from that shutdown gold early on in the game. So here we see, Arch now still threatening with the Corki and still being very, very dangerous. The package was just such an amazing ability, and it can completely turn the tide of a fight. You saw even Aldre, who was kind of, the only thing he was taking damage from was that package burn, and he got completely destroyed by it. So we'll see if Arch can continue to make that kind of move. Here is the Caitlyn Karma getting sort of pressured by Ezreal Blitzcrank, which isn't something you always expect. And now the Gale Force may be able to turn the tides here. Maiden ADC goes very low, and there we go. No Cap going to try to go for this. Uses the ultimate. That's going to be blocked no problem by Aldre, and they don't manage to get anything else. But there's a fight over here. Jelly trying to go on Zohair, and here is Bodybuilding teleporting in. There's the blue card, the gold card. I keep saying the wrong one, but it goes down. Maiden ADC gets another one, and the last remaining player, Kingsland's going to have to turn tail and run. Reese's Pieces gets the stun up here, and they just cannot stop fighting. Finally, Reese's Pieces flashes away, and I think I got a chance to breathe here, but that was a great play for Scoop City.
That was a great play for Scoop City, but once again, birds aren't real. He knows they have a TF. They know they can't keep going for these side lane fights, especially if Arc isn't going to TP when he has TP up. Ideally, you'd see a play bottom lane, and Arc should be TPing top lane, try to make a counter kill onto Dinsbags, but nothing. Arc not even up on CS, despite the many roams from Bodybuilding. Arc is just getting a little bit gapped in this game by this TF.
Definitely, and he is going to outscale in damage, but you're going to have a problem, if you can't use that package really effectively. Now, Bodybuilding's going to flash in. Reese's Pieces gets into the bush, but Bodybuilding's got so much damage here, and yeah, Zohair can't even get in there. Zohair has just been so unable to find impact in this game compared to what Jelly has been able to do, in combination with Bodybuilding just using that ult on cooldown just like a great TF player does. So Scoop City just look really in control here.
Yeah, and a huge point of contention is the only really QSSable thing that you could, or the only real reason to buy a QSS is for this GF. But almost all of the characters are gonna need this QSS because if any of them get stunned up, they're going to die. There's so much dive with the Aurelia, with the Kha'Zix, even with the Blitzcrank. And one thing I do want to focus on, I know I said I wouldn't flame people as much, but this is gonna go out the way because I hate this build. Triforce on Hecarim in this situation, I think is really awful. His team needed an engage button. They needed a way to go to put space or to close the distance in between their team and TF to make sure that the Blitzcrank isn't getting value with his hook. They need to be able to get on them, and going Triforce is not going to allow them to do this. Chemtank would have been a much better choice, not only to dive into fights but to survive once they're there. As the ult comes out again, diving under turret.
Oh, Aldre ends up picking that one up with the hook, but actually Kingsland does take out Bodybuilding in exchange. The Herald goes into mid, and we will see if they can get this tower as well. Looks like it's going to be given up. No, Reese's Pieces doesn't want to, and he's going to go in and clear those minions. The Jax definitely can start to get scary, and yeah, maybe Zohair looking at, just kind of in the mindset of the carry Hecarim like last game, where Trinity Force is providing you the damage you need to just secure all those kills, and Zohair maybe just stuck in that mindset a little bit, not wanting to go for the more utility and team focused build on that Hecarim, but definitely could be helping him in this game. And now it is Scoop City taking down mid turret, setting up for Dragon here, and it is going to be the Infernal Soul on the Rift. It's a long way away, but definitely something to look out for.
Yeah, and both teams right now with one dragon apiece, it should be Scoop City getting the next one, as well as the subsequent ones if they're in position control and in control. We already see they have the vision established, which is going to make it so hard for Birds Aren't Real to get in and do anything about this. With no vision, they're going to be walking into Blitzcrank, so they're just going to have to give this one, even with Quirky Package. It's still ill-advised to fight this one. There's so much pick potential on the side of Scoop City. There is no TFR, but I'm doubting that Birds Aren't Real knows that.
Yeah, I'm not sure they've been tracking that, but Reese's Pieces is going to be threatened once again by Dinsbag, who uses the ultimate to go in. Reese's Pieces just has to walk through those knives in order to get past, but here comes Maiden ADC. There's the package used, and that is way too aggressive for Maiden ADC. Just did not expect the return damage, and Arch might have been able to get that kill all on his own, but his team was there to pick up the slack as well. So the Dragon will go over towards Scoop City, but the ADC goes down, and Arch racks up another kill.
Bad kill to hand over from Maiden ADC, but overall not going to affect it too much. Corky still isn't going to be strong enough to sideline against any of these characters. Neither is the Jax. It's going to be a huge problem. Baron's coming up in 20 minutes. If Scoop City wanted to, they could very easily just put pressure sidelines and go for one of these early Barons.
Yeah, definitely have the ability to do that. The turret goes down. Aldre looks for the hook, doesn't find it. Jelly is also waiting in the wings. with that Eclipse finish. Definitely very threatening for a burst on these squishy characters. But here's Zohair. They've spotted out the jungler, and they take him down so fast. Bodybuilding does a lot of damage, but they're just not in position to follow up. So that's just a really, really nice pick there from Zohair and the Birds Aren't Real squad.
That it's exactly picks like that the Birds Aren't Real has to keep making. They have to make sure that TF isn't around. We saw TF was actually on the bottom side of the map that wasn't in range to respond with the Fate's call. But they're able to pick it up early. They get the shutdown, which is good. It's going to have to be picks like that. Going to slowly call them back in the game.
Absolutely. And we'll see if they can continue to make them. They do have options there. You know, in particular, the Hecarim and the Corki package are very effective for those long-range engagements and picks. Dinsbag is still such a threat up here in the top lane, though, as that Aurelia 5-2-1. Shield Bow completed along with the Blade of the Ruined King. So Aurelia is just, you have to send two. You cannot, nobody can solo this champion right now. Aldre is even here to support.
Yeah. You know, the Scoop City doing a really good job now. They're just walking in slowly. They're not getting over compulsive. They're fighting. They know their AD's bot. This is the point, though, where Birds Aren't Real needs to be making a play. They see that Maiden Life AD is bot. Reese's Pieces has teleport, but
Aldre
no
gets
gap,
the
only
pick.
gap. It's running out of life.
Yeah, Aldre, they just managed to clear out the vision. That ward there by the red buff we just saw on our screen wasn't enough to catch out Aldre, and gets a great spot there against NoCap, who is just starved for farm right now, you know, just trying to become the main carry of this team. Now, Dinsbag's got a little bit of a threat coming in, but puts up the thumbs up, gets away, and like you said, these early Barons are a definite possibility, especially with the Kha'Zix isolated Qs. But they might have sussed it out here. Birds Aren't Real. They are looking for this, and yeah, there goes the ward. I think that Scoop City are probably going to have to just back off of this one, because it's going to be
need to back
very
off.
tough.
If they flip this could very easily be a throw. Reese's Pieces now coming in on the side.
Reese might get caught out here, though, when he goes in. His team isn't quite there, and Bodybuilding's zoning out the entire team on the back line. He even kills the jungler. This is going to secure the Baron, and Reese's Pieces and the rest of the team just weren't quite in cohesion there. Bodybuilding, Maiden ADC gets the
behind.
poke, and there is Dinsbag with the flank, getting the second kill onto the Caitlyn. Flash comes in, but it's secured, and the Ace and the Baron are taken by Scoop City.
Oh, what a great play by Scoop City around the Baron, but what an awful setup, an awful communication by Birds Aren't Real. Reese's Pieces going in way before anyone else. They obviously can't try to bluff that. There's TF out, they have vision, and after that, it's just clean up City. Zohair gets shortly picked off, and there's no chance from there. It's going to be the Baron falling, it's going to be the inhib, and it's going to be Reese's Pieces looking to make a play.
Now, Dinsbag might be caught out here, and actually Maiden ADC is getting threatened by Zohair, who does get the shutdown, so that's definitely non-trivial, and here's Reese's Piece is going to take out Dinsbag as well, so a little bit of an overstay from Scoop City, and definitely will matter, but Baron is still on these other players who are streaming into the base, and so they're going to be able to at least secure the inhibitor, but Bodybuilding actually is forced to use that Zanya's. Now they both go down, actually didn't manage to kill anyone, and they just couldn't get away from those 4 players, so all the Barons except maybe Aldre is still wearing one, but the Baron buffs just completely go down. Still, they did get value out of it from that inhibitor, but in classic Scoop City fashion, they just completely they just completely over-aggress.
Yeah, you know, definitely still throwable for the side of Scoop City.
Oh, yeah.
Not even too bad of a situation for Birds Aren't Real. They have an inhib down, which means they're going to be getting lots of levels as things are pushing in. This Dragon is coming up now. They might be able to snag it. It looks like they are. Dinsbag has TP, and TF does have ulti, so they might be able to sneak it in. But, yeah, it looks like Dinsbag is going to TP in for it. Reese's Pieces also has TP, though.
There we go. That Dragon is confirmed. That's 2-2, but Dinsbag needs to go in on the back line, trying to get damage down. He's doing a lot, but there we go. The package secures it, and the teleport coming in. Now here's Reese's trying to go on. And the ultimate sneaks through from Caitlyn, and so that is Birds Aren't Real turning this one right around. Aldre going to be caught out by the Hecarim, and the TF does a lot of poke damage. Here's Jelly trying to go in, but he goes in on Arch, who's still got that shield bow up, and Jelly is going to feed another kill over to Birds birds aren't real, and you just said it was possible to throw. Well, here it is.
Dinsbag with a TP flank that no one asked for. They couldn't compete. Jelly wasn't there. Bodybuilding wasn't there. There wasn't enough people to contest that. And as a result, they lengthen the time that it will take them to get the soul. They give more time for Birds Aren't Real to get back into the game, to get back scaling with their double AD carry comp. If it's not an even game now, but it's a hell of a lot closer to one.
Well, and like this point with the Baron buffs all gone, that inhibitor being down doesn't really do anything for Scoop City. All it does is funnel farm into these two high damage auto attack carries here over on the side of Birds Aren't Real. So yeah, that's a big throw right there. And Scoop City are definitely going to have to sort of re-up here, kind of take stock of their situation, make sure that doesn't happen again if they want to remain in the lead in this game. Like you said, significant gold lead still over on the side of Scoop City, and still that TF is so threatening, as well as the Irelia, but it is now getting closer to hanging on a knife's edge here as Birds Aren't Real continue to make nice plays and capitalize on those mistakes.
Importantly as well, Karma is almost done her Moon Staff combination. She's about 600 gold now, which is going to be a huge power spike for the side of Birds Aren't Real. It still won't allow them to win these burst fights, but if Karma can get that Moon Staff combo, they are going to be winning these extended trades with the double AD carry. Still definitely winnable here for the side of Birds Aren't Real.
Absolutely, and Aldre's just looking for another pick. Remember, No Cap was the one who fell victim to that last time, and Aldre, there we go, has been spotted out by the Ezreal, so they're going to know that Blitzcrank is waiting, and another control ward goes down. They're just trying
no
to get
TP on Reese's
picks
Pieces
from Aldre, but yeah, Reese's is not available to stop this push, and so their fight definitely still can happen here with Corki and Caitlyn available here, but yeah, Reese's is just continuing to push, and
his back got interrupted by minions too.
Oh no, so he's going to try to get back, and it looks like maybe Scoop City want to just back off and not give this inhibitor. Reese's Pieces has come back, and there just aren't any objectives on the map right now, and so that turret went down, and that's kind of all that came of that, besides Reese's Pieces not being allowed to continue split pushing. So just a little bit of a nice macro play there from Scoop City.
Yeah, it's not even completely insignificant. Cracking the outer base is going to help them as the game continues on, but I can't help but think that that was just a pretty bad play by the side of Birds Aren't Real. They already have someone with TP in Arch who should be the one bottom lane. There's no TP on the side of Scoop City, so Arch was really free just to push away for as long as he wanted, but instead it's going to be Reese's Pieces that goes bot, gets nothing for it, and loses a tower.
Yeah, Arch still waiting on that package, and that really is kind of the go button here as we wait for these objectives to spawn, these neutral objectives, and the dragons. You know, this one is an important one. We always say it, the one that puts one of the teams on soul point and kind of puts you in that position where you can trade it for Baron or do what you need to do in that situation if the next one comes up. But Baron is up right now, and so we'll see if that is going to be something that Scoop City is interested in. We know that they've got a fast Baron, and we know that they're willing to go for risky ones.
Yeah, there is a fight brewing, but I'm thinking it's looking like it's going to be more towards the dragon at this point. We see now No Gap Only Cap is on his 3 items, but he also bought a potion, which I do actually think is a good call. The rest of the game is going to be heavily influenced by who can win this next fight. There's 3 items on both the carries, on all the carries on both sides, with the exception of Bodybuilding, who has 4 items. But this next fight is going to be big. Birds Aren't Real, though, really needs to be forcing that vision control right now. Otherwise, you're just going to get taken over. I was going into Bodybuilding.
Might find a catch on Bodybuilding here, who does get caught out, and Bodybuilding gets completely destroyed. Not even the chance to use the Zhonya's. Probably wouldn't have been worth it to use it anyway. And that's a great pick right before the Dragon. This is Birds Aren't Real, starting to turn the tides here. They are looking for this Dragon, trying not to get it stolen here. Jelly is looking, though, goes in for the steal, and he doesn't get it. Now Jelly has to get out, and will he be able to? No, didn't have, and it looked like he might have failed the flash there, but Dinsbag is up top, trying to push down this inhibitor. Reese's Pieces has answered. There is Zohair going on, and Dinsbag wants the 1v1. Reese's Pieces is going to get the stun. Dinsbag flashes away. Reese's has to flash away as well, knowing the Aurelia now has the advantage with E down. But we'll see if Reese's Pieces wants to keep going. Does use the dash to try to get over, but Kingsland looks like he's going to be so low there. Dinsbag almost gets them both, but doesn't manage to get either one, and that is both solo laners and, sorry, the top laner and the jungler killed for Scoop City. So Birds Aren't Real. They secure the dragon. They are on Soul Point now. They have the option to look for Baron. Both inhibitors have spawned, but actually, no, it looks like Dinsbag did take down the top inhibitor. Just had to wait for Corky's big face to get out of the way on the minimap there, but that inhibitor is down. So that is definitely going to be something to watch out for, those super minions pushing in. Definitely more value out of that now than it was earlier in the game.
Yeah, having the inhib down is good for the side of Scoop City, but it's not too significant. It is the top side inhib, so it is going to be closer to the Baron that's showing up. And they still importantly have double TP on the side.
Gets caught out here. Sorry to interrupt you there, but Bodybuilding found the catch. Arch even had to use the flash and still didn't manage to get it. Now with the Caitlyn ace in the hole going forward and not finding anything at all, it's going to be the advantage. Baron is up. Will they be able to take advantage of Corky's death timer?
My bad, they're always watching the actual stream instead of RP.
No.
It's like, what? Nothing's happening. What are you talking about? But yeah, with the pick down, they should be pressuring Baron at this point. They're not quite in position for it, but they have the top inhib down. You know, looks like they're going for it now. There is TP, and he should have package available if I did my math correctly.
Yeah, I think he does. Dinsbag trying to go for this. No Cap does get away, and actually now Dinsbag's in a bit of trouble here with Reese's following up. Dinsbag doesn't have a dash available. Will he get stunned? No, he's just out of range.
Razor slows go down.
Continuing to pressure him, yeah, and there is the ult from Dinsbag. Can he get anything? Kingsland doesn't go down, and that is Dinsbag getting picked. But look at the Baron. Kha'Zix took it down with Blitzcrank, and so that's Scoop City just using Dinsbag as bait and as a distraction while they take the Baron under our noses.
They took a little bit of meat being Dinsbag and it's like, hey, look, it's our mascot. It's the guy everyone knows. Go kill him. Kill him. And they threw him away, and they take Baron instead. A huge, very sneaky play from the side of Scoop City. It's still going to be around by the time Baron comes up. Arc as well, using one of his TPs, so Birds Aren't Real, losing their advantage of TP and losing the Baron buff and all the games a kill. Super nice play by Scoop City.
Absolutely, and they will take the Baron. We'll see what they can do with it, as, like you said, the top inhibitor is still down, mid inhibitor is open, and only one tower separating the bottom one from going down as well. Maiden ADC looking for a pick here. Finds a little bit of damage on Reese's Pieces, but not anything too substantial. This is continuing to be allowed to clear that top wave, and yeah, this Baron is there, but now Birds Aren't Real are really threatening here, and I'm not sure if Corky's holding the package right now, but whenever he is, whenever you hear that, that little Yordle call out that battle cry, then you know you've got to be very, very careful of all that damage that could be incoming. So 24 kills to 24 kills. Scoop City well ahead in gold, but Birds Aren't Real are definitely still having a chance in this game, but they got to defend against this Baron here.
Yeah, this is the first time Scoop City's coming. Baron should be about half over right now. They are looking to pressure bottom lane, which is smart. It's the only hit or the only tower still lasting. Looks like they're just gonna waltz on in here without much of a fight.
Yeah.
I don't think Birds Aren't Real can really give this second inhib up. They are gonna chase them away, but even still, that leaves a whole host of issues for something like a TF or an Aurelia.
We've already seen how scary it is to face up against Dinsbag 1v1. Reese's Pieces is getting there, getting to the point where it's very close in that 1v1, and it really is a skill matchup at this point. But the poke still coming through from TF, and yeah, with all of these inhibitor towers down, Dinsbag is applying so much pressure here, and bodybuilding as well. But they're trying to find this. Bodybuilding being so fed is really screwing them over, but Dinsbag might be taking too much damage here. Tries to go in. There is no cap. Taking that one down, and the package is taking 2 more. That is going to be the double kill for Arch, and Birds Aren't Real have completely destroyed this fight right off the bat. The shutdown does come in from Bodybuilding, who might be able to get away here. Reese's Pieces is very fast, but Bodybuilding has the ultimate available. Reese's Pieces just turns back right away. There's the dragon. That is the soul going down there over on the side of Birds Aren't Real. They somehow find the dragon soul. There is Aldre flashing in for a final kill. Aldre doesn't get anything beyond that, but there's just a little bit of BM at the end, and Birds Aren't Real finally look like they potentially have the upper hand in this game with the Infernal Soul going over to them.
What a huge misplay by Dinsbag and the carries of Scoop City. Dinsbag cannot be that far out. He's so far away from his team, and he doesn't have tank stats. He went for that full lifesteal cheese build, which doesn't even really work now that the short bow, or the lifesteal mythic item, in the name,
Shield bow
has been nerfed. Thank you, shield bow.
Yep.
Has been nerfed. He's so squishy, just gets taken off immediately. And at this point, Corki does so much damage. He's got his IE. He's got his Gale Force, Man Immune, Essence Reaver. He's effectively full build. You can't be caught out like that before a big objective, and more importantly, the rest of your team can't blunder into Corki package immediately after.
Exactly. Yeah, Arch just that kind of play can go down if Arch doesn't have the package up. Maybe then you could argue Dinsbag can go into the backline like that, but with Arch having it up, that's all he's got. All he has to do is cast one spell. He's basically like Malzahar levels of simple in terms of what you need to do in order to affect your team fight properly. So 29 kills have gone down for Birds Aren't Real, as well as the Infernal Soul, and all they want now is a team fight. Birds Aren't Real are definitely ahead in damage at this point, and Scoop City have got to pull out something pretty crazy in order to, out macro this. They do have obviously the huge structure advantage, and it's just how they use that with their globals that will determine whether they can come back and win this game.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard. We haven't seen Bodybuilding have a super effective ult in a long time. I think, looking back, a huge blunder was actually getting those inhibitors. All that did was make it so that the minions were always in the base of Birds Aren't Real, and made it so Bodybuilding couldn't really get these effective picks that he's been getting, that he was getting all the game before. And now his advantage is pretty much worn up. He's about half an item down, and this Blitzcrank is already half healed.
Aldre is already dead. Reese's Pieces just finding him, and Blitzcrank going for too aggressive of a ward there. So that's going to be the 4 versus 5 on the Rift. Birds Aren't Real having the
Baron's up in 20.
There. Baron's about up, yeah, and Blitzcrank is not going to be anywhere near when it spawns. So here's the recall actually from NoCap. Wants to go and finish an item, and yeah, did, I believe, finish the Infinity Edge there. So that's going to be...
Is Caitlyn now super strong as well?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Caitlyn and NoCap has shown some good mechanical skill on that so far. Going to be very dangerous, and just another character you've got to worry about in terms of the Infernal Drake, and another character that Dinsbag has to worry about when he dives the backline, as he keeps repeatedly doing. We talked about Dinsbag and Jelly being able to affect the backline and being able to burst them down, but at this point, when there's so many threats and when they are so threatening, that's when it really starts to get very, very challenging. You've got to play this perfectly in these team fights.
Yeah, and I honestly just don't see a way for Scoop City to be able to do this. They don't have any form of frontline. We've dealt on it a little bit before, but the Aurelia going for this lifesteal build, he's not going to be the frontline. He's going to do a lot of damage, of course, but he's not going to be doing enough to actually threaten any of the AD carry when he's in the middle of them. I would have much rather preferred the normal builds, with like the Divine Sunder or the Triforce into something like Sterix or into the Hydra, but it looks like it's actually just going to be another sneaky Baron.
They are going for it, and yeah, Jelly, it looked like maybe specifically showed in the mid lane, and yeah, they're just going to get it for free. So that's Scoop City once again taking these objectives and playing well around them, using the speed at which that Kha'Zix can do it. So a little more time bought by Scoop City, but like you say, it's very difficult to see exactly their path back into this game. It seems like they're so close, right? Only 2 towers left to take down, but how do you get them? How do you get a pick? How do you win a team fight here? It's so complicated to determine the strategy you need to use in order to win this game.
Okay, so it looks like Dinsbeg is going topside. Elder's got a minute 15 up, and it's almost for sure Birds aren't real or they're gonna try to fight it. There is a chance for Dinsbeg here to create a lot of pressure topside and draw them
Right.
away. He's going a little bit early right now. It should be on the next wave that he goes in. But if they're able to do this, he can definitely. He does have TP. He'll be able to get the potential flank off to force this. But it actually looks like it's going to be Birds Aren't Real. It's flanking them.
Here we go. Birds aren't real. Go for the fight. This is exactly what they needed. And Zohair gets a great flank off. They do take down Maiden ADC already. So the Ezreal no longer in the fight. And Zohair, there we go. That's what you want the Trinity Force for, I guess. Does manage to take down the Blitzcrank as well. Arch gets bodybuilding too. So now it's only Dinsbag and Jelly on opposite sides of the map. They're just going to try to go for these inhibitors.
They're going for the inhibs, yeah.
Stefan, I don't know. They are trying to go for some sort of pseudo base race here as there are 2 players from Birds Aren't Real going to push the mid lane. Actually, 3 as a Kingsland decides not to recall. Dinsbag going to maybe be able to get away here. Doesn't, of course,
Jelly
have packets
back,
available.
he's not going to be enough. They're going to give up mid lane for top lane inhib, which doesn't seem completely worth it. The super inhibs aren't going to come up early enough to affect the Elder Dragon. And right now, it should just be Birds Aren't Real running straight for the Elder.
Well, and Dinsbag, against Reese's Pieces, who has a great flash there. I don't know if Dinsbag wins this one. Does get over on to Dinsbag, and the shield bow goes down. Reese's, and look at that. The stopwatch has to come out, and his E's back up. Exactly. Reese's Pieces gets the shutdown. Dinsbag has no longer the confidence and no longer the damage to solo kill that Jax. So Reese's Pieces, a great flash to avoid the initial stun, and that being able to take down Dinsbag there and securing the Elder Dragon on the other side, I've got to say, probably confirms the game.
Yeah, I don't want to say it because I've said it before. This game is still throwable.
I'll put my name out in the ring as the potential caster cursor this time.
Yeah, no, exactly. But this is such a bad spot with the Hecarim running at you. Looks like Maiden ADC going down.
But Jelly takes down No Cap, actually. So that is 1 kill going back. But yeah, though, there's still an ADC left on the other side, and Elder Dragon is there. I think this is going to do it, Steph. It is the catch coming in, and Zohair just continuing to use his
They need to tank. They can't let the minion die.
They don't.
Can't let TFQ the minion.
All right, they're waiting for bodybuilding, trying to go in, but yeah,
no,
they do.
It doesn't even
well
matter.
played, just zoning it, bodybuilding out, and yeah, that Elder Dragon's going to be enough. Here's Dinsbag going to try to make one last crazy play. There's the ultimate coming out. Dinsbag's just trying to get something, but no, Reese's Pieces is just too strong, and that Infernal Soul is what confirms that fight in the end, and the Elder Dragon as well. Arch with huge damage in the final seconds of this game, as it does end up going towards Birds Aren't Real in a crazy back and forth series ending on, look at that, there is not even 1,000 gold separating these 2 teams at the end of this game. And so Birds Aren't Real take the 3rd game. They take the series in one of the closest and most wacky and interesting series we've seen so far, and just a sign of what's to come most likely for the rest of the Canadian Esports Championship Series.
What a crazy game to finish off a crazy series. I was so impressed up until like 20 minutes. Both teams were not doing anything really strange. They were just playing it slow, but then of course you had Scoop City just dying 4 times in the enemy base. That was kind of the classic throwing move that I'm sure we're going to come to expect from Scoop City, but absolutely just wild throughout all 3 games today.
All right, we got a nice view of Kept's room and background there as we head back towards the analyst desk. No worries, Darren, Kang, and Kept. We definitely have a little bit more of an interesting one for you to break down now, so go ahead.